Word on the street is your boy Paris Hall is supposed to experience some kind of sophomore slump, but let's let them know right now out the gate, that's not happening. As crazy as I went in my first season, so many people think it would be nearly impossible for me to replicate that, and I understand the doubt. But with all the adversity that I faced coming into the league throughout college and now being here in my second season, you'd think a lot of people would have a lot more faith in me. I'm learning to navigate around and completely block out all outside noise. All that matter is my family and also my teammates and everyone within the organization believes in me. But you want to talk about a season opener, this new and reformed Ravens team with a bunch of weapons from last season, a healthy MVP caliber quarterback in Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. And the fact that we're down 2 scores already here in the first half, somebody needs to make a big play, and that somebody is me, and I don't know when I'm gonna do it, but I know that I am. Contrary to a lot of people's beliefs, Lamar is a very smart and deadly accurate quarterback. You can't let him beat you through the air because he definitely can. But here, coming away with my first pick of the season, you know we got to step up and make the play. And that's all it takes is a few big plays from our defense, and our offense is going to take care of business every single time. And just like that, within the first half as well, we tied this game up. This game has already been tough, and I know the second half is going to be a little more of the same with guys like Zay Flowers running hitches like this and getting open. And now here in the third quarter, the Ravens are trying to make a huge push and get into the end zone, handing this ball out to Derrick Henry. He gets slowed up a bit. You know I'm going to drop that shoulder off in his chest. They go with an empty set, loaded up on that right side of the field with receivers and tight ends out the wazoo. But I know the ball is going to come my way because they got one lone receiver with a bunch of speed, but they get the best of me here as I'm not in place to make the play on this ball. They pick up a touchdown, taking the lead. We hear it all the time in the media. Our Jaguars defense gets bailed out by the O all the time. That was the narrative they ran with all last season. I'm pretty sure it's going to continue here as our offense came through, got the touchdown. We're going to walk out of here week 1 with a dub at home. Patrick Mahomes in the rain, week 2 in the kingdom is crazy. Now we got to try to sit here and strap up in man coverage, exactly what I'm doing to a T, knocking his ball down. With more than enough time, Pat Mahomes behind his offensive line in the gun, surveying things out. He's going to take off, get hit, fumbles the ball, we recover. In some cover 2 here, looking at the field, I got guys coming from the other side. I got to stay home and be patient. That's what I do, coming through, getting a big hit. And speaking of any kind of zone coverage, my defense last season was electric, but this year we're looking to take it up a whole nother notch, now coming through with the pick as they make their second biggest tip to try to get into the end zone. And before we end the first half, it's only right if I come through and get an interception to make sure they know that this game is not going to go anything like they'd expect. In the rain here, coming through in the clutch with a big pick, offense has a chance to score again. Myself and my entire defense, though, we've been absolutely exceptional when it comes to man coverage. Press man, off man, you name it. We do it all at an elite level. The second year in a row, last year in the playoffs, this time in the regular season, we blow the Chiefs out the water. Last season, we for sure had our hands full with this Colts offense. Anthony Richardson and his squad, they go crazy. And with Pittman being my responsibility for the majority of this game, he's going to make a big play here early on. I completely misjudged this ball, and Anthony Richardson threw this one underneath perfectly. But he's still a young quarterback, and I know how to take advantage of guys like this. You give them a look that they can't refuse. Pittman on the outside, it looks like a go-ahead touchdown, but instead, I'm coming through in that cover 2 zone, hawking this one down, taking it upfield for a minor return. As crazy as it sounds, especially after watching what I've been able to achieve just in my first year, here in year 2, I think I've gotten a lot better when it comes to disguising coverages. And just that thought can be otherworldly scary for a lot of quarterbacks across the league, veterans, young guys alike. I think Anthony Richardson may be my biggest rival over a Pat Mahomes or a Lamar who I've faced in the playoffs. Me and bro just seem to go head to head and clash every single time we play, but here I'm going to get the best of him and win the fight. One forced fumble, a big pick early in this game, bro. We're absolutely duking it out. Right now with a 3-point lead here as we wind down and go into the fourth quarter. And now as we do step into the fourth quarter, fighting at a line with Michael Pittman as he comes across the middle. AR is going to deliver it to his number 1 guy, making a quick catch. Fun but crazy fact, where did I learn how to play and what made me play these cover 2 zones the way that I do? Extremely low, sink back, get into position, get these picks and take them all the way back to the crib. A young guy like Travis Hunter over there in Colorado doing his thing. Y'all know how we get down in home games. We do not lose, and that dates back to last season. Hopefully we can continue the streak throughout the remainder of the season. A big dub over the Colts. There's no worse way to start a game off than getting beat in man coverage. That's one thing, but to get destroyed, baby, belittled by the receiver I couldn't even tell you the name of, and then he rides it off into the sunset, picking up the first score of the game. The first half against the Panthers have been an absolute nightmare. They're already running up the score, now trying to make a big play here on 2nd and 5 before going into the second half. In the third quarter, only down the score, the Panthers are trying to make a huge push forward to give us our first loss of the season. We're trying to do everything we can to not make that happen. And with the Trips bunch over here on my side, with their running back on the opposite side of the field, running all of these routes across the field, everything's sewn up. Bryce Young is going to take off up the middle untouched, picking up another TD. And just like I said, exactly like I thought, we get blown out of the water 42-14 by the Panthers. They have an explosive offense that is extremely underrated. Puka Nacua in this Rams offense has to be respected. They got a lot of decent guys over there on that side of the ball, but they disrespect me out the gate by throwing the ball my way. You know that's going to result in a pick. Even though Cooper Kupp has been out of the limelight and the talk and the conversations of the best receivers in the league over the last couple of years, he's still one of the elite receiver weapons in the entire league. And I don't care what nobody says, since my sophomore, maybe my junior year in college, I've gotten so much better at tackling running backs and overall making tackles, period. From putting on a few pounds to overall working on my game and also just filling out my entire 6'4" frame. I'm expecting them to throw the ball deep. We're up 11 points. The second half is coming to an end. They have one timeout, but instead they go with a quick 5-yard hitch. Now with the strong push, the Rams are in the red zone and they run a route concept that I thought conflicted with each other. They have one receiver coming here and then my guy going over the top, and I almost picked this ball off even though that wasn't my guy. And oddly enough, guess who they have back there at quarterback? Justin Fields himself. He might be underrated or overlooked, but he's a dynamic player, especially at that position with his legs, but I stop him here before he can score. We have a nice lead, and with less than 2 minutes left in regulation, I'm pretty sure if we keep them out of the end zone this time around, we're going to secure the W, and the tackle here is definitely going to secure that future for us. Road game this week against the Titans, and we start things off with my safety playing really down low to the line, getting in position, almost coming through with a beautiful knockdown on his pass, but I do secure the tackle before they pick up the first. And I have to say, this is the only team in the league that I've played over the last couple of years that literally runs more screens than any team I've played ever combined. And their RB1 may have dreads, but he's no Derrick Henry, trying to flare out to the outside, get that edge, but of course, I'm over there sealing things up the way I should be, getting a huge hit. Anytime I play an inside guy, whether it's trips or even if it's just two receivers on my side of the field, the middle guy or the inside receiver is always going to run something towards the outside. I guess right, but I don't get in position for the play. And in situations like that, I know my safety can't commit to my help right there that quickly, but I also feel like he should have been there a little bit sooner, maybe even been able to knock that ball loose. But I won't put the blame on him. I usually make plays on that and punish every quarterback that even attempts to throw that ball, but they do pick up a score here after a massive drive. And right now, down 18 points headed into the fourth quarter, we desperately need a big play. I haven't been able to make it myself, but one of my guys on the back end, he secures and comes through with the clutch interception. Even though we won the Super Bowl last season, one of the biggest weaknesses in our team is simply not being able to compete on the road, and it's following us into a new year. And as for me right now, I've been able to come downhill, make big hits, overall just play a pretty solid game, but in the interception department, nada. I'm not sure what it is or what's going on, but putting a stop to it is definitely my mission. I'm going to make sure my offense and my defense gets a piece of my mind before we play next week. Losing to Arizona at the crib would be abysmal, so we got to get out here and take advantage of every opportunity that we possibly can. Land a big hit on Kyler Murray here. Kyler Murray is still to be feared and respected as a quarterback. Maybe small in stature, but he has a big arm as he delivers a strike here for a touchdown. But he may be feeling himself a little bit too much. Now on 3rd and 14, trying to launch this ball to my side, a very long ball at that. It's going to take a lot to be accurate with this one. He overshoots it, but if he didn't, this was definitely a pick. We know that. But then he also has in his arsenal of weapons a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. to come into the league, a young guy, and he's taking over going crazy, catches a ball on me for a touchdown. And for me, a second-year guy who's seen to be one of the best players in all of the NFL, to get beat out by a rookie on a route like that is crazy. But then Kyler overshoots another ball where he could have caught this one as well. Overall today in coverage, I'm just not having a great day. They're up 10 points before we go right into the second half. We're trying to make something happen. They're picking up big play after big play. We just can't seem to put these boys to a stop. But for everything I can't do in coverage, I'm going to try to make up by making plays down here in the box, coming through, getting away from my wide receiver, picking up a big tackle. But if they do exactly what I think they're going to do throughout the remainder of this game, we may be walking out of here with our first home loss of the season, picking up small play after small play and overall killing that clock. And even though it's still early in the season, you can go ahead and tally it up. 2 games so far without a single interception, completely low by my standard. I want one every single game. Compared to last week, if things couldn't get any harder, even though they're only 3-4, the San Francisco 49ers are a team to be reckoned with, a Super Bowl contender every single season pretty much. And with CMC being on this roster, one of the best running backs in the league, one of the most dynamic at that, coming through getting a tackle on him is pretty rewarding. And when we're in a cover 2 sink or in a cover 2 zone period, and I got a guy like George Kittle running a route to the outside, a perfect pick opportunity to absolutely dominate Brock Purdy, and I miss it just by a hair. The opportunity that I never got last week here this week, I knew it was going to come at some point in time, especially now that we have a 1-score lead just before going into the third quarter. INT has been secured. And it goes without question, anytime I can step up, make big plays, we always have success as a defense and as a team. It's like what I do in the field pretty much dictates everything that happens for us almost. I just gave up a huge play, but now knocking at the goal line, empty set in the gun for Brock Purdy. He's going to look his way for Kittle. I'm soft baiting it and it works out to perfection, taking this from the distance back to the crib, a huge, major, big time pick 6. And like I said, when I start to heat up, we do as a team. Offense scoring multiple touchdowns, now in the fourth quarter causing a forced fumble on CMC himself. Yeah, we going crazy. And they've dedicated the entire fourth quarter to not coming to my side of the field, and I love that because when you test that other side, Campbell and those guys gonna show you something every time. And it's one thing to see a huge pick six like I had just a few series ago, but now for another one, 2-on-1 game from two different players is absolutely nasty work, straight domination. I've had my fair share of battles with wide receiver ones in the NFL so far, but Stephon Diggs is probably one of my top 3 guys that I've faced every single year, and every single year being the last 2. And now I'm in man coverage, extremely off because I know they want to take a shot. Been watching film, they go with that trips look on the other side. Running back lined up over here, he's going to launch this one for Diggs up the field. Of course, that's being batted down, especially if I don't catch the pick. Not only am I the greatest ball hawk in the league right now, but when it comes to making tackles, laying big hits, and overall using my size to put guys down, I do it best, and nobody can tell me otherwise. I've struggled to pick off and make plays on the curl throughout my entire career, from high school to college to now in the NFL, but here I get a little bit handsy at the top, but I do get the interception. Just like I thought pass interference is called, they get the first and some. I really wanted to make that play, I did, but I got a little bit handsy. But come on now, y'all know me, I'm gonna get it right back. Now with a deep cover zone, I see everything going to the other side of the field, and the only thing I can do is search for opportunity. I see it underneath with 2 guys sitting over the top. I come swooping in, getting the interception for a slight baby return. And I'm not gonna lie, whether he split out wide or packed in tight in the slot, wherever he's been, me and Stephon Diggs has been going at it. I got my hand on his hip, and of course another pick off to the races, all the way to the crib. Man, that's a pick 6 in the books. And out of the corner of my eye on the return, I seen some yellow flying. Didn't know what it was, but it was another flag for a second defensive pass interference call. They snatched my opportunity out of my hands twice, and especially in the second one, that one hurt the most. But one of my guys on the back end, before the play even happened, he told me he got me. And not only does he do that with the interception, but taking it back, getting the pick 6 that was stolen from me. To hold a team and an offense like the Texans to literally no scores throughout the entirety of a game and a packed out crowd on the road is insane. And I almost caught my second pick here, but the guys, they were in place to help me out a bit. The last time we faced Devontae Adams and his Las Vegas Raiders, I went crazy personally, shut him down. He had maybe 40, maybe 50 yards receiving total. Now he's opening this one up, going crazy with a big catch. On the flip side of that one decent play, putting hands on Tay Adams at the line, getting the win, also getting into position, securing the pick early in this game, setting the tone out the gate. Now lined up in the slot a bit offset. I know he's gonna run something short, guess it to perfection, know exactly where he's going. I can't get the pick, but I'll blow this play up, no catch. 1-score lead, 45 seconds left in the first half. They're making a march here now towards midfield, picking up a catch and also a decent amount of yards. Around this time of the year, a lot of teams start to see what their season is going to form to. Plenty of football to be played, but at 6-3, I think we're pretty good. But if I remember correctly, last season we had somewhat of a similar start, so hopefully we can continue with this momentum and not backtrack and start losing games randomly. 1-on-1 on a full-blown island, going with a man blitz here, trying to get some pressure on their quarterback, and Tay runs this route to the corner, but you know who's in position for the pick? Who else? Can't say he's come out here and put up a much better fight than the last time we saw him, making a big catch across the middle. I do have 2 major picks, but he's definitely not going out quietly. To a lot of people coming into the league as a young corner, they think I get babied by a receiver like Tay Adams. Seasoned, a veteran, absolutely explosive, just dynamic, but it's been a one-sided battle, and I'm on the winning side of things. I've said it all last season, and even this year, we struggle on the road, but a big win here against Vegas. They pick up a late touchdown, but it won't be enough. Offense gonna kill that clock. We secure the W in Vegas.